Y'all enjoy.
So, a couple of years ago, I was not having a very good night, and I was sitting there. I was probably pacing around my house, and I remember I went up and I was looking in the mirror, just like staring back at myself, like one of these scenes out of a movie, right? Like contemplating life, thinking about life. And I remember I was already having a bunch of self defeating thoughts about my life and situation. And I vividly remember looking at myself, and the thought came across my mind like, well, maybe they would all be better off if you killed yourself. And I gotta say, as insidious as that thought is, it was kind of a paramount moment for me, believe it or not, because it was the moment that the devil revealed himself actually to me in my own mind. And the mask was off. The mask was off. So that was the day I realized that the devil does come in the form of your own thoughts, in that you have to be very leery on which thoughts you take as true and not true. I'm not sure if this is a concept you've heard of. Maybe it's the first time. If this is the first time you're viewing my channel, maybe it's meant to be. Who knows? But this is a statement and theme that kind of keeps coming up. And when I talk about mental health to other people, it's something that at this point I always mention and remind people because it's really easy to forget. I mean, when you're having your own self dialogue in your head sometimes, we're not really expecting it to be influenced, like our own thoughts influenced, right, by a higher power always. But that's exactly what's taking place. And just taking it a step further, we live in a very physical reality, but I would argue that life in general is a battle of your own mind. Now, I read a really good book this last year. That is slipping my mind, the name of it, but it's talking about how if you have the right mindset, motivation, and purpose in life, then you can achieve whatever you want, right? And then you gain momentum, and then you become unstoppable. And I know for me, right, like reflecting on the book and everything, the mindset piece is definitely what I've struggled with the most, right? So yeah, man, life is a battle of the mind for sure. Like if you haven't already kind of figured it out, it's like it is you against you, brother. Like it's uh it's pretty interesting actually. It's pretty interesting. But there is good news. Actually, it's great news. And that is that if you remind yourself who you are in Christ and God every day, throughout the day, those sort of thoughts are a whole lot less likely to impact you, right? Because there's been plenty of times, shoot, probably today, literally, at some point in the day, my mind went, Matthew, you're a loser and you're kind of a piece of shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you've had thoughts like that too, where maybe they're not that negative on your life, right? But it's like you beat yourself up for things that are trivial. You know what I mean? And I do believe that that's the devil, seeping his way into our minds a little bit to try and rush us, to try to make us feel like we're not good enough, that we don't have enough, that we need to be doing more. And anytime that you have those kinds of thoughts, it's easy, right? It's simple. You know what I mean? Like you don't even have to really question. Like you already know, like which side of the field it's coming from. And I'm sure you've had really positive, uplifting, and encouraging thoughts too. And believe me, I am not like some mental health master. I have not conquered and overcome all of my mental health issues. I have been tested quite a bit on, through various challenges and situations, and ultimately have come out on top. I really have, because let's just say God has saved me more than once, more than twice actually, and prevented me from, doing some really probably disastrous things. I don't even know where I was going with that. Honestly, just wanted to yap about this a little bit because I'm currently chatting back and forth with another entrepreneur out in California. He's like this 17-year-old kid, and he's trying to start a web design agency. I have a digital marketing agency, and we've just been talking back and forth. I've been giving him tips and advice, and he mentioned mental health to me, which I don't want to say was alarming because, like I said, it's so relevant and prevalent these days. The topic is just more accepted to talk about, I think, than it was previously. But also, when I was his age, like, I wasn't really struggling with any sort of mental health issues. So just thought it was interesting. Thought it would make a good video to chat about. I'm like, should I talk about my own mental health issues with you guys? I think I'll save that for another one. All right, my friends, that's pretty much all I've got. Do me a favor, if it's your first time watching the video, like and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. What are your thoughts on mental health in general? How do you cope with your mental health issues? And can you see where the devil has, influenced or impacted your thoughts? I'd be really interested to know, because the more I practice just mental self-awareness with my own thoughts, the easier it gets to spot this sort of thing. And obviously, we just had some idiot walk into a school in Minnesota and like shoot the place up. And so you gotta wonder, like, first of all, what sort of thoughts is that person having, right? But then who's the one that has to be controlling those thoughts? Has to be. It's the devil, dude. It's the devil. It's the devil. I mean, it doesn't take like a genius to see the evil in the world, does it? Like, you're pretty smart. I'm sure you understand, like, there is evil in the world. And so I think that the more people we can get this message out to, the more lives we can save, literally, through murder, suicide. Like I said, still figuring out my style of content on this channel and, what I talk about, etc. However, for a large majority of the time, my main goal is to provide hope, inspire, teach if possible. I gotta be honest with y'all, I keep losing my train of thought for whatever reason, so I don't know what I just said last, but just wanted to talk about this, get this message out there. I do believe that this is true, and yeah, stay aware. I'll see you in the next one.